from Menifee, California. And I know you're probably all wondering, what the heck is this girl talking about? Well, I have been an animal behaviorist for 25 years. I grew up dreaming of horses, but really started my career, I say at 13, when I started working with an old horseman, helping me train my first horse. And I've never stopped since then. So during this process, I worked with a lot of people, a lot of horses, and I knew that I had a very intuitive gift for them. But a few years ago, I guess I'm a quick study, but a few years ago I started as a hobby studying astrology. I had some weird things come into my life, like some people that had the same birth dates like over and over and over again that, just was really bizarre. And I asked the question one day to someone I thought might know the answer, and yeah, I got quite an awakening, and I studied this as a hobby. I started using it in working with people and animals. I found out that it is also very accurate and true for animals. And then last year, this is significant based on what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. I had a very dear friend of mine that I've known for 30 years. Her daughter had struggled with epilepsy her whole life. And they came upon an opportunity to get a service dog. And so I got to be a part of watching this story unfold. And this particular dog that they got had this really strange natural ability to read her seizures like 20 minutes before that would happen. And in service dogs, they talk about, some have the gift, some can be trained like after the seizure, but very few have it before. And she also started doing some other strange things. So I went home that day because they knew her birth date, and I looked up her chart, and I was just like blown away. In fact, her birthday was March 16th, 2010. So when Gail and I were talking and I asked about this horse, the birthday, I found out it was the same birthday. I immediately knew that this year, from the dates of February 17th to March 17th, we had a very, very, very special astrological happening. And the animals and people that were born during that time will have a very, very special gift. And from that period, I've been working with some other breeders, service dogs, and I've been able to accurately let them know if their dog actually will have this intuitive gift to know what's happening. And again, not all dogs have it. So let's get into this. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a little background because I want you guys to know that this is what I do professionally. And this is what a reading with me looks like. So if somebody were to call me with an animal, I customize it for the customer. If it's a horse, if it's a dog. Now, in astrology, not everybody's able to read animal charts. It's a very specific niche. And I'm able to do it based on the fact of my 25 years of working with horses and dogs and cats. So I'm able to not only talk about and read the interpretation of this animal's chart, but I'm also able to kind of intuitively know how horses think. So again, not everybody's able to do this, so I'm very unique. And again, normally I would not show the client what it is I'm looking at, but today I'm going to do something a little different, okay? So I'm actually going to show you guys what I'm looking at in a screen share here in a minute. It'll pop up on the screen. So get ready here in a little bit, and I'll be doing that. So again, don't worry that you're not going to understand what I'm saying. When you look at the charts and I'm going to show you, all I want you to do is see if you can see common threads, common symbols. We're going to kind of paint by numbers. I'm going to take this down to a place that you guys can understand it. So what is a natal chart? What is a birth chart? A birth chart is a picture in the sky. Now this is scientifically proven through astronomy. A picture in the sky of exactly to the second, if we know your birth time, to the second of what was happening, how the planets were lined up. So the cool thing is no two charts can ever be the same because every second it's changing. A lot of us just know that we are a certain sun sign. We read it in the back of magazines and stuff, but that has really nothing to do with this amazing tool that we're going to study. There's over 24 different aspects that can be combined in many, many ways. If I were to do one person's chart, I would study it for several hours, and then it would take me a good hour to go through just one person's chart. So he's got 1, 2, 3 placements. I want you guys to look at that. These are basically what we're going to be focusing on right now is these 5 planets. Okay, this is part of what makes up his personality. And when you see 3 of the same thing in one chart, you have to really take a look at that. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. They are the most intuitive. Okay, they don't work with their mind. They feel everything. So the rider that's going to be on this horse will be able to take on a very in-depth feeling of their rider. They'll be able to mold into the rider. I mean, this horse, when you guys get this horse working, it's going to float and it's going to move like you're just going through the water, like you're riding on water. He's a water horse. That's what we would call this with this triple Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. All of the water signs are very intuitive. They can know things before they happen. So you've got to really pay attention to this horse. If he is alerting you for something, if you're out riding him and he is refusing something, this is not a horse that you're just going to kick through it. You are going to listen just for a minute and make sure he's not trying to sense something, because he will know about things before they happen. Other thing is when you're showing him in an arena, this horse is going to be the kind of horse that when he walks into the arena, he will have the ability to feel the whole arena, all the other horses going on. He's going to pick up on that herd instinct, okay, overly in some ways. So it's very important that as you're riding him in those situations that you're talking to him a lot. And it could just be with your little tiny finger, communicating, keeping his attention on you, keeping him feeling you. Because if you are not a strong focused rider, this horse will have the potential, to pick up on too much, and he may overreact. If you keep his mind with you, this horse is going to be phenomenal. So again, and the thing is, it's going to be really a fine line. You don't want to pick at this horse, like nitpick at him, like frustratedly, because he will pick up on your negative energy. So I know this is a lot of responsibility, but as a rider, you really need to take a few breaths before you get on this horse and cleanse your mind from what just happened 20 minutes ago with somebody else, the things that we bring to our horses. Some horses, we can get away with that. We could just get on them and they don't pay attention, and this horse will absorb positive and negative. So this is going to be very important that this horse has a positive rider. And it will be the responsibility to find a tool within yourself to go, okay, I got to just, get my mind right. When you're riding this horse, you're riding this horse. You are going to enter into riding a horse that you've just never experienced before. It's very rare to get what I call a water horse, okay, that will feel you and then give himself back to you in such a powerful way. He'll be very light and very soft in his cues. He's not going to be a bracy horse. Now I just want to go into a few last details, and I wanted to have you guys take a look at what a actual natal chart looks like. This is an actual photograph in the sky of the planetary lineup. So you can see that these two look very different. That's what I want you to take a note at. So over here on our left, if I'm looking at it on my left, you notice this one here, just kind of, how does this make you feel when you look at it? Without knowing anything. This is the planetary lineup of MannyQ, and he was born on March 17th, 2013. And this is a very harmonious chart. If you see right in here where we have these angles like this, those are harmonious. And this shows just 2 different periods in his life. He may go in one direction for so many years, and then at another time in his life he may go in another direction, and that could be in his performance, that could be he takes a higher level and goes in a different direction. I see a lot of traveling for this horse. So over here on the right, you see all of this energy. This is what's going on right this minute as I'm making this video in the sky. And so you guys can see we have a lot of astrological energy right now. And if you take a look here in the middle, you can see this grand trine here. It's a grand water trine. It's a triangle. And there's a lot of things I could share with you guys about this, but one of the main things I want to share with you is there's a special alignment in the sky right now. Neptune is in Pisces for the next 14 years, and this has not happened for 165 years. So we're really fortunate we get to see this astrological really influence and energy in our whole generation, in the whole world. It'll affect everybody. And it's a very creative energy. It's a positive energy. It just takes you places that requires imagination, requires creativity, requires faith, requires belief. And because of this horse is so lined up and so powerfully influenced with Pisces, he's going to get like a triple shot of this. And I don't know if that all makes sense to you, but just know that's a really good thing. Looking at his chart now, I want to talk about two last planets. And this is the rising sign or the ascendant, if you look up here on the right. And also we're going to take a look at the moon sign. So I got his correct date and time. I actually have this horse's ascendant. So knowing now that he was born on March 17th, 2013 at 10 p.m., this makes him a Scorpio rising. When we look at the ascendant in a birth chart, this is our outer persona. This is how we appear to the world. And a Scorpio is like the eagle. It's like the wise soul. Now, Scorpio does not show his emotions as easily. And so when I described this horse earlier, I described him as really being a horse that would be very expressive and show his emotions. And that still may be true. But now that I know that his ascendant is in Scorpio, I think he's going to be a little more quiet, a little more reserved. And you're going to have to really pay attention to reading his cues a little bit more. But I have read the trainer's chart, and these two are going to match up just beautifully. Scorpio is a very intuitive sign. There are the eagle eyes. They are the investigators. They are, he's going to be quick. He's not going to miss anything. Scorpio here now, he's going to be very competitive. We're going to see a really strong competitive edge here. And he might get a little bored easy, so change up his training. Don't drill this horse. He does have potential, though, to work very hard. So don't be afraid of that. You're going to want to do a lot of different things. If you're working on real detailed stuff in the morning, then go out, and ride around on the trail or around the ranch. Take breaks, do different things, because he will, his attention span could be a little short. But when he goes to compete, you're not going to have any problems. This is just in the day in and day out stuff, because he's really curious, and he's just really mentally stimulated. And I'm really excited about this because he's got a great trainer. You guys have a lot of amazing connections astrologically. This horse is a very spiritual horse. And if we believe that horses are here to teach us and we are here to learn from them, then that experience is definitely going to happen.